Retro cameras are hot, and they're back. Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. Thank you so much once again joining me for tea time. Do you love this mug? Tell me you do. What the hell just happened back there? I just lost a bird. Anyways, it's Halloween. This is the kind of stuff that's supposed to happen. I hope you're joining me with your cup of tea. Hanging out, talking tech, talking photo, talking video. Today is a technology photo day, let's call it. So, kind of interesting. I was reading an article and it was talking about the whole retro vibe, the retro cameras that are kind of everywhere now. There's a lot of companies that are kind of moving into that whole retro vibe because people are looking for them. All this new stuff is great, but after a while, it just gets boring. Every time I do a video on this channel that has to do with video or photo, people just don't watch it because people are just not as interested in it as they once were. It's just really, really incredible to me because I'm passionate about it. I love photography. I love videography. I love tech too. But it's just, to me, it's sad. Anyways, I was reading this article and it was over on, I believe it was DIY photography or something. And they were talking about this research that Canon was doing. Now, a lot of the companies are doing the exact same research, but they highlighted Canon. I want to read this to you and then I want to get your perspective on it. I don't really care if you're a Canon shooter or a Nikon shooter, you shoot Sony or whatever. This is just a general kind of look at where the market is going as of right now. We're talking about Canon today specifically, Nikon and so forth, but the bottom line, it could be your manufacturer doing the exact same thing in the next couple of months. Anyways, let me start out with this article and then we'll kind of get to it. It says Canon is gauging interest in reviving some of the most iconic camera models with a modern twist. According to the Federation of Independent Photographers, Canon is conducting market research to find out which classic Canon camera bodies people want to see reincarnated in digital form. So we were talking about this in a video probably about 6 months ago on how a lot of people are kind of moving into this whole revitalization of film. And we know folks like Peter McKinnon, for example, he's kind of moved to old school film photography because kind of like myself, you just kind of get bored with digital. And the thing with digital is it looks digital. It's just so perfect. It's so smooth. You don't get the grain and the character and the tastiness that you do from film. When you shoot film, you could decide what your final output is going to look like, not in the digital darkroom or in the actual darkroom, but by selecting the film, the type of film that you use to capture the image. So it is, to me, more artistic, more artsy, more creative when you use film in comparison to digital. That's just me because I'm an older guy and I've been doing this for quite some time. So I understand people that are coming up and they are new to photography. They look at film like that's just a waste of time. That's a lot of time and effort and money for nothing. Anyways, the article continues with the 4 leading contenders for the retro-inspired EOS camera revival are the Canon QL17, the Canon P, the Canon F-1, and the highly popular Canon AE-1. I love the AE-1. Definitely my favorite out of those. At the time of writing, the QL17 is apparently far ahead in votes. Interestingly, the popular for its time, AE-1, is currently coming in 3rd place. I'm shocked about that. This is somewhat surprising, I'm glad they said so, given how well loved the camera was among pros and amateurs alike. Absolutely, that camera was a staple for news photographers, for war photographers, for everyone. I mean, the AE-1 was an incredible film camera. Anyways, perhaps though, it just doesn't have quite the aesthetic appeal that the other vintage bodies had, such as the Leica rangefinder series. Now, Leica rangefinders were all the rage. You were talking about a lot of money. If you had a Leica, you must have some money in your wallet because, well, probably no money in your wallet anymore because they're very expensive. So to actually be in the Leica club, It was a big thing. I wonder if Canon is merely jumping on the retro bandwagon. Other camera brands have relaunched digital versions of their vintage style bodies recently. Notably, the pricey Leica M11P, we talked about that, very, very pricey. That is a rangefinder camera, as well as the Nikon ZF. I did an entire video on the ZF. I thought that that was a very interesting camera, beautiful camera. The aesthetic was all there. It said it was released in September this year. That's when I did the video. Now, if you guys didn't know it, the Nikon ZF is a full frame mirrorless camera. It has 24 megapixels. It's a BSI CMOS sensor, which is a backside illuminated CMOS sensor. It is badass, period. It is amazing, but it has that retro vibe. The vibe is pulled or mimicked from the Nikon FM2. That is the SLR camera. So it is basically a 1980s looking FM2, but in a brand new mirrorless body. So I really like it. I think that it's an amazing camera. I do like what they did with it, but the question is, why did they do it? The reason they did it is probably the same reason why Canon is doing it now, because people are getting bored with the regular cameras that we're seeing. All of these digital cameras, after a while, it's just one after another after another. It's the same thing as an iPhone. I have an iPhone 11, I got a 12, I got a 13. Hey, I just got the 14, 15's now. It's like, who cares, right? It just doesn't matter anymore. It just doesn't. I mean, they all are proficient at taking photographs now. Way back in the day, maybe not so much. You were worrying about megapixels, and then they moved from megapixels to what is the dynamic range of your sensor? How big is your pixels on your, all of this kind of stuff, right? At this point, you could pick up just about any decent, let's call it, let's say up to maybe $1,000 plus digital camera, any mirrorless camera, and you're going to get amazing pictures. You could get a DSLR, matter of fact, and get amazing pictures. It doesn't matter anymore. You could pick up a Canon 5D Mark IV, and that thing is going to be badass. It'll last you for years and years to come, and it's a DSLR. It's not even a mirrorless. It doesn't matter. And like I said before, photographers like Peter McKinnon that are moving towards film and moving away from digital just to be able to get their creative juices back, it's just moving everyone in that direction. People are looking at these cameras and saying, you know what? I kind of like that retro look. I kind of like having a camera that has all the dials on it so that I don't have to go into a menu and change anything. I mean, my first camera was this. This is a Minolta SRT 102. I love this camera. I've shot so many photographs that I have displayed in galleries. I've sold a ton of them. Big 60 by 40 prints, chemical prints with this camera. It's just a simple 35 millimeter camera. It's a egg timer. That's basically all that it is. It's an egg timer. Let me take this off so you can kind of get a good look at it. See that? Amazing, right? Well, this right here, this look that you see right here, this is exactly what you're going to get with any of these retro vibe cameras. They're going to look like this. The difference is that they might have a screen on the back, number one, but number two, it's going to be all 100% digital, right? No film. That's it. But for me, film is still awesome. It is still awesome. Now, look, if you want to go on the retro side, I think that it's great because now all of a sudden you're carrying something that looks like this instead of like a regular camera. I think that's fantastic. And sometimes you just need to do that to get your mind in a different place to be able to pull out better or more creative images. I would suggest that you shoot some black and white film, develop it yourself, or send it away. Either way, depends if you feel like you want to learn how to become proficient in developing. Either which way. It is just an amazing, amazing thing. So for me, when I look at this, I feel that the industry as a whole has been suffering for quite some time with people just getting bored as hell with cameras. And what also has happened is all of these manufacturers have shut down their plants or shut down their assembly lines that had anything to do with point and shoots. So you couldn't find point and shoots anymore. right? They started selling all, let's say, middle ground or pro-am cameras all the way up to professional grade cameras. Why is that? Cha-chang. Just simply makes sense. It makes sense to just sell one camera and make enough money to support if you sold 10 of another camera. Well, of course, I'm exaggerating a little bit about that, but yes, it does help when you're making a lot more on a camera body when you sell it in comparison to something else. That's number one. But number two, the advent of the smartphone, the camera phone, have just slowly just destroyed the point and shoot model. Because these camera manufacturers don't see a need of building a point and shoot camera because the photographers or the amateurs don't feel a need to purchase one. They would rather just use the camera that they have in their pocket. And it looks like this, right? Your phone. And for most people, it is good enough. There's no reason to have this in your pocket plus another point and shoot. So the camera manufacturers recognize that, and that's why they don't build them anymore. So the camera market is just simply not what it once was. They are not able to sell as many cameras anymore. And that's why they went down this mirrorless thing. Now they could have just stuck with DSLRs. They didn't have to make a DSLR that didn't have a flippy flip in it anymore, right? To make a mirrorless camera, no. But why did they do it? Money. They had to move forward in some direction and give you a reason, okay, to move into that new camera. The thing is from DSLR to mirrorless, there wasn't a lot of reasons. There is a few, but there's more reasons for the companies to do it because lenses. Lenses is where the manufacturers make the maximum amount of profit. It's not from the camera bodies. It's from lenses. Lenses are forever, bodies are like toilet paper, and you just throw them away and you get new ones continuously, right? But those lenses are very expensive, and once they get you in the door, buying a single really expensive lens, let's say Canon, chances are you're not going to move to Nikon. Chances are you're not going to move to Sony or to Panasonic or to whoever. You're not. You're going to stay within that Canon ecosphere, and they know it. Once you get a really good, high quality, expensive lens, it's almost like a marriage certificate. You're kind of stuck. You're in there, and you're in there for good. There's not a lot of people that have a ton of glass, thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars of lenses for, let's say, Nikon, and then switch over to Canon. What's the purpose, right? So they know that. Once again, it's a means to get you into the door. So I want to know from you, out of these cameras, I mean, I think they're pretty cool. You got the Canon P, you have the Canon AE-1, you have the Canon F-1, as well as the Canon QL17. Which one of those would you like to see a retro digital version of? Or maybe a different camera? Write it down below in the comment area. Let's have this discussion. I think it's awesome. I really do love what Nikon did with their retro vibe camera, which is the equivalent to their FM2. I love that. The ZF is awesome. It looks awesome, and it has all of the little knobs and all the stuff. You don't need to go on the back to go and change stuff. Everything is up here, right? So I just love that. I think that that's awesome, and maybe you do too. So once again, let's have this conversation down below. If you enjoyed this video, even in the least, throw it a thumbs up. That'd be awesome. Don't forget to subscribe if you're not already. If you are subscribed, click this button over here so when I go live or when a new video comes out, you'll be notified of it immediately. And if you want to say thank you for all of my hard work, right down here, there's a little thank you button. You can click on that, give $1 or $2 if you like. If not, that's perfectly fine. Consider becoming a member of the channel. That would be even better. And if you haven't downloaded any of my ebooks, they are free. Go over to JCristina.com/books. Once again, JCristina.com/books. Grab them. Once again, free. Can't beat free. And finally, if you're looking for a VPN, check out Pure VPN. The nice folks over there gave us a promo code, which is JCristina, where you can get 15 additional % off just by using that, or you can go to the link jcristina.com/VPN. Once again, jcristina.com/VPN. Finally, head over to my website, jcristina.com, where you can find all the photography tools that I invented for you and me over the years, and hopefully there's something there that you might like. And if there is, please pick it up and support me and my family. That's it, guys. I'm out of here for another vlog. Many blessings to you and your family. Stay safe, stay healthy, and we'll see you in the next one. Love you all.